Welcome to Yoga Nidra this morning. This is one of my favorite practices, and I'm very excited, surprised by how many people showed up, and very encouraged. This practice means a lot to me, and I'm happy to share it with you. If you're new to this platform, this is called Demio, and if you look over to the right, if you click on handouts, I have two handouts for you. If you want the slides from today, they're available as a download, so click on that, it'll download for you locally. If you're watching this on record, it will be underneath the recording. And at the top, there's just a one sheet PDF of a visual of Yoga Nidra. So if you want to download both of those, you'll have everything that I'll be showing visually on the screen today. And then once you're finished downloading that, if you'll come to the poll, some of you have already taken it to the poll, how familiar are you with Yoga Nidra? I'm curious if you're here for the first time and this is all brand new, or if you've been many times and you have a regular practice. Let me know in the poll. And then the chat, of course, you are welcome to put in questions, thoughts, feedback. I read them all afterwards, and then during, I take time when we pause to see if there are any questions. So you're welcome also to chat with each other. I'll keep my eye on the screen and the presentation, and then take time to check out the chats at regular intervals. Good morning and Happy New Year to you too. Thanks, Rachel. All right, so we've got your handouts, got the poll taken. I'm going to bring back up the slides. If you have questions as we go. Yoga Nidra is a form of guided meditation, and it means yogic sleep. So why meditate? Why is it important? Why are we interested enough to show up on a Saturday morning to talk about it? So first of all, meditation is good for us. It's been shown in research, it's well established that it's good for us, right? Greater ability to relax and enjoy life, more inner peace and a feeling of well-being, better focus, creativity, improved mood and resilience. These are all great things. And often they're enough to motivate us to start to meditate, and or maybe to keep a practice going. But for me, and I'm wondering if possibly for you, what happens? Often it's the suffering, right? You are brought to your knees by something, and something's got to give. I found Yoga Nidra at a stressful point in life when I couldn't sleep. It shows up for me in headaches and an inability to sleep. So some common things that bring us to this point: sleep, relationships, and physical, mental, emotional pain. So whatever it is, whether you feel driven at this point in your life by the positives of it and the potential of meditation, or you're here like, it's all gone, I need to refill the cup. The good news is, I believe Yoga Nidra can help. In addition to those other benefits that we looked at, it reduces insomnia and levels of stress, improves relationships, reduce symptoms from depression, fear, and anxiety, and reduced chronic and acute pain. So it's a very powerful practice. And the type that I'm going to share with you today, the type that I practice and teach, is called I-Rest Yoga Nidra. And it was developed by Richard Miller. He's a clinical psychologist, a very experienced meditation teacher. And the mission of the I-Rest Foundation is to help people resolve their pain and suffering. They want to bring deep healing and peace. So if you're interested in checking that out, just Google I-Rest, Richard Miller, it'll all come up. It's irest.org. Their vision is to nurture an engaged community dedicated to health, well-being, and authentic participation in the world. And they have lots of free resources on their sites, lots of events, and it's also on Insight Timer. So many different Nidra styles have a lot of overlap, but to give you the idea of the structuring of iRest, they have 10 steps. And I'll walk you through them briefly now, but then you'll experience them in the Nidra. So the initial part is centering, bringing yourself to where you are, because a lot of times we walk around doing what we're doing while our mind is in 100 different places. So come to a center, and then we set the foundation. And in the foundation, we connect to a sense of well-being, to what matters to us, and add a form of focus and attention to it. And then they call it body and breath sensing. You probably have heard of body sensing as a body scan, and we'll experience that today in practice as well. It's you really present in your body and helping you to notice sensations and feelings in the body. Breath sensing, watching the flow of your breath. Feelings and emotions, so we keep going deeper and deeper layers. We started with the physical and then the energetic of the breath. And then feelings and emotions. So different physical feelings like hot and cold, sharp or dull, or emotions, frustrated, happy, whatever it is. And then beyond that, thoughts, beliefs, memories, things that we have integrated into who we are, and they're not always true or helpful, which is a bummer. And then beyond all of this, at the very base, this feeling of joy and well-being that goes beyond the moment in time, goes beyond feelings, even circumstances. And then a general awareness that everything that's happening in life arises, unfolds, and dissolves. We are in it in the moment, but it's coming and going. And beyond and behind and underneath that is this awareness, this essence of who we are. And then as we take that trip to that very depth, then at the end, we integrate it back in and come back into where we are. So the first part, I wanted to walk through this with you because you can do this at any time. And that's the wonderful thing about iRest is it's a series of things, but each step can be used, kind of cherry picked for whenever you need it. So this initial integration is to connect with your senses. So if you want to close your eyes, you're welcome to. Take a moment, a couple slow breaths, and then ask yourself, what do you see? If you chose to close your eyes, you might see shades of light or darkness, shadows. If they're open, have a lot more to see. What do you hear? Are there any scents or tastes? And then what do you feel? Notice your feet on the floor, your backside on the chair, the movement of your breath, the touch of your clothes. You can choose any one of these, but notice now if you were drawn to one, or if one maybe made you feel more connected and grounded, or if one was frustrating. Check in and see how that feels. All right, and if your eyes are closed, open them back up. And if you'd like, share a little about your experience in the chat. How did the senses go for you? Did it feel grounding, frustrating? Was it helpful? Centering, relaxing? Awesome. Awesome. So some people enjoying the quiet, closing eyes and seeing more than they expected. Cooking dinner so you could smell it. Madeline is across the pond, so having dinner. I love it. Okay. So what we're going to do now is experience a practice, and then we'll come back and talk more about it. But if you're using headphones, you can set up and make sure that you're all comfortable. If you aren't using headphones, make sure the volume is loud enough that you can hear it well. And then get comfortable. You have all kinds of choices. You can lie down, you can lie on your side, you can do it seated in the chair or on the floor. You can even practice Yoga Nidra standing up. So if it's your first time or you're early on with it, I encourage you to lie down and get very comfortable. If you've been doing this forever and have never done a Nidra practice seated or standing, I encourage you to try something different. If not today during this practice, sometime soon. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to get comfortable, pillow under the head, blankets if you need. And we'll start in about a minute with the practice. I'm going to turn the slides back on. You will not need to look at the screen. Need anything, you can type it into the chat. Welcome to the practice of Yoga Nidra. Take your time finding the right position. Continue to make adjustments to become more comfortable. Bring your wholehearted attention to the practice. Let expectation, judgment, and analysis fall away. During Yoga Nidra, welcome every experience of sensation, emotion, and thought without trying to change or fix it. Meet what arises with curiosity, openness, and grace. As your body settles into stillness, what do you hear? Notice sounds in the distance and sounds nearby. With the eyes open, closed, or covered, what do you see? shapes, shades of light, color. Do you notice any scents or tastes? Begin to develop an awareness of the space around you. Visualize the walls, the windows, the ceiling, the floor. See your body fully supported. Feel your physical existence and the points of contact with the surface that supports you. Sense the movement of your breath, the vibrant aliveness and energy of your body, even in stillness. Rest into a sense of safety and well-being in your body. A place of tranquility and ease. Welcome this feeling of well-being as spacious, open, timeless, whole, familiar, and unchanging. If it's helpful, bring to mind people, animals, places, or images that nourish feelings of peace, security, and calm. Notice where and how you feel this in your body. Know that you can connect with this foundation at any time, day or night, and throughout your practice of Yoga Nidra. A bridge to the place within that is peaceful, whole, steady, and safe. Now touch into what's important to you, what you long for, what calls you. What do you value? What could you use more of or less of in your life? What gives you a sense of purpose and meaning? Let it arrive in the simplest of terms, a word, a feeling, or an image. Create space and give it permission to develop over time. Whatever it is that matters to you, what does this look like in your life? How can you facilitate it? Small but significant steps. Set an intention that puts the focus on aligning your values with your thoughts, words, and actions. Bring your attention now to your body, to each part as you hear it called. Sense it as if from the inside, more feeling from the heart than thinking from the mind. Open to sensation just as it is. Begin with the voice box. Feel the throat, inside of the mouth, lips, chin, the hinges of your jaw, your ears. Take your time feeling your way, not thinking, but sensing both ears at the same time. Welcome sensations along the cheeks and the skin of the face, the warmth or coolness as air exits and enters the nose. Sensation around and deep behind the eyes. Bring attention to the temples, eyebrows, forehead, top of the head, and back of the head. Shift attention deep inside the right shoulder. Feel it as if from the inside and flow with the sensation from the shoulder down into the arm, through the elbow, forearm, and wrist, into the palm of the hand, back of the hand, all 5 fingers. Feel the entire right arm from fingertips, wrist, and forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, and shoulder blade. Shift your attention now to the inside of the left shoulder, flowing with sensation down into the arm, through the elbow, forearm, and wrist, to the palm of the hand, back of the hand, all 5 fingers. The entire left arm from fingertips through the wrist and forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, and shoulder blade. Let attention rest equally into both arms at the same time. And then shift attention into the chest and upper back. Deep and surface sensations. Then flow into the abdomen and low back, front to back, side to side. Then into the bowl of the pelvis, into the right hip, left hip, right thigh, left thigh, right knee, kneecap and space behind the knee. Left knee, kneecap, and space behind. Right calf and shin, left calf and shin. Right ankle and heel, left ankle and heel. The sole and arch of your right foot, the sole and arch of the left. Your right toes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Left toes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The entire right leg, the whole left leg, both legs at once. Feet, legs, hips, and pelvis all at the same time. Sensing the torso, both shoulders and the arms. Sensations of the neck, head, face, mouth, and jaw. Welcome the entire body as a symphony of sensations, letting attention move freely. Sensing the flows of energy from the back side of the body to the front, from the left to the right, deep inside, to sensations along the surfaces of the body and the contact points with the surfaces that support you. Connect with your foundation of calm and peace, calling in that sense of ease. Become aware of the body breathing, the flow of the breath inside the nose, the throat, the lower chest and abdomen gently rising as the breath flows in and releasing as breath flows out. Nothing to change. The body breathing rhythmically and intuitively. Follow the natural ebb and flow of your breath and begin to count backwards with the exhalations from 11 to 1. Breathing out 11, breathing in. Breathing out 10, breathing in. Develop your own pace, practicing single pointed focus. If you lose count, reach 0, or get distracted, no worries. Begin again at 11. Following each breath out, dropping a number, following your breath. If you reach 0, begin again. If you lost count, begin again. Train your attention each time, bringing it back to the breath and to the descending count. Wherever you are, let the counting fall away. Feel the natural movement of your breath, everything free to be just as it is. Notice all that's present in your awareness. Your body, your breath, sensing what's present. Notice a continuous stream of arising, unfolding, and dissolving. Connect with your foundation, that felt sense of security and ease. Notice any feelings that are present throughout the body, maybe warmth or coolness, heaviness or lightness, comfort or discomfort. Where and how do you feel these feelings physically in the body? Welcome any memories, images, or emotions that arise without analyzing or trying to change your experience. Welcome them just as they are, letting them be seen, heard, and felt. Let your attention dissolve into being, into a sense of being perfect and complete just as you are. Sensing wholeness as a field-like quality that is spacious and open. Aware of all that is present, arising, unfolding, dissolving. Invite sensations of well-being. Bring to mind the feeling of joy as an inner warmth, an ever-present foundation of safety, calm, and ease. If joy feels elusive, bring to mind someone you love, a beautiful memory, a meaningful experience, and feel it in your body. Let the image fall away and become absorbed in the feeling of joy and well-being that exists beyond feelings, emotions, and circumstances. innately whole and timelessly present. Rest into the essence of who you are. Notice your breathing. Easy and rhythmic. Your body warm and at ease. Recall what you value. Affirm the intention to keep your values in focus. Imagine going about your daily life, noticing sensations, emotions, and thoughts constantly changing, all the while feeling yourself as unchanging, spacious awareness in which everything else arises, unfolds, and dissolves. Bring your attention back to your body and to the room around you. Begin to move in any way that feels right to you, stretching into the space surrounding you, opening your eyes as you feel ready, reorienting to your surroundings. Take your time to stretch and move and slowly transition back to seated. Celebrating yourself as timeless, open, spacious, and whole just as you are, with the understanding that you have within you the sense of deep knowing and a foundation of love, belonging, and peace. All right, as you come back to the screen, no rush. As you come back, bring to mind one word that describes how you're feeling right now. And if you'd like to share it in the chat, type it in and let's see how the practice landed. Calm, settled, myself, light, balanced, calm, lots of calm. If you think back, reset, I like that. Content, relaxed, and whole. This practice is so powerful. And one of the reasons I love it is that it leads you to your own wisdom. It gives you a guide, something to hold on to so that your mind isn't all over the place. But it's basically just guidance to your own knowing, to your own sense of wisdom. It doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. If you think back through the practice, are there any parts that stuck out to you? So anything that you were like, ooh, I like this little tidbit, I might come back to this, or something that really, really landed for you? I'll give you a minute if you want to add anything in there. Here's the list. So we did that initial centering with the senses, and then set the foundation with values and that feeling of being home or safe, secure. And then the intention setting, the body scan. That's the point at which a lot of times people fall asleep, which is fine. However you experience it, it's wonderful. I always tell people if they fell asleep, they needed some rest. With practice over time, you'll experience it in many different ways. Watching the breath, talking about feelings and emotions, touching on beliefs, finding joy, and then that awareness where everything is coming and going, and then talking about going back into the world. So let's see, the rising, unfolding, dissolving, the body scan, nothing to change, breath sensing, finding that place of letting go and unclenching. Yeah. Body sensing helped me notice where I was holding tension. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So getting lost in the bliss. Yes. I mentioned that I found Yoga Nidra during a time of stress. One of my favorite places for Yoga Nidra is on Insight Timer. And so if you don't have Insight Timer, it's a free app. And it's a great place to find Yoga Nidra. Jennifer Piercy is one of my earliest teachers. She has one. I think it's just called Yoga Nidra for sleep or something. And she walked me to sleep in the middle of the night, many, many, many nights. So we'll talk about several places to find more Nidra. If you would like to join me for more Nidra, I want to invite you to my January series. I did this 3 times in 2020, and it's a month-long deeper dive into Yoga Nidra. And it is, each week we go through a few of those steps in depth and talk about the why and the how. There's some journaling involved and a little bit of discussion, and then experience a full practice. So starting from the first practice to the last, spending more and more time on those deeper layers. So more time with feelings and emotions, beliefs, and then really digging into that, the joy that is our foundation no matter what happens, it can be pretty challenging. It doesn't mean that you always feel happy. It means that there is a peace and a joy that's underneath all of it. So you have the download, and I'll share the link to this a little bit later too. But when you download this, if you click on the snowflake, you can get more information about the series. And as I mentioned, it's part content. So we'll talk about the steps, we'll do application and integration, discussion, Q&A, and then a practice. So it's really nice. It's kind of the best of both worlds. It's a group practice, but also you are alone at home. If your dog barks or somebody comes to the door or someone else is snoring, you're not going to know about it, right? So you have quiet and your own space, but also there's a group atmosphere, a connection that we're practicing together. Then there's a second section that I'm adding to the class this time, and it's an online course that goes with it. It's in Teachable, and you'll have access to the recordings and the content each week. So trying that out to see how people like it. And you do not have to attend the live sessions, but the discussion, the Q&A, the sharing, that part isn't recorded. It's a really powerful. I have some people who have gone through it all 3 times that I've done it, and several who have done it twice. It's something I feel like you can do over and over and over again. Again, it's 4 sessions. 3 other places that you can practice with me. On Insight Timer, I have a Nidra and kind of an intro, just that setting the foundation and senses and part. And then on YouTube, I have more on there, also on Instagram. And then I do a live class every Tuesday from 8 to 9:15. It's 45 minutes of flow movement, and then a half an hour of yoga nidra. So the spiral staircase, this practice it just loops around. Like each time you add to it, you grow. The depth of it happens with practice, and consistency is key. So a few suggestions if you're interested in starting this practice. One is to connect it with something else. So maybe you do a short nidra every morning before you get out of bed, or right after you brush your teeth, or right after breakfast, or right before you go to bed. Connect it with something else that you always do, and get yourself a buddy, a nidra buddy. Find someone else that's interested in developing a meditation practice. And sometimes just the power of telling each other you're going to do this and knowing that the other person is doing it helps you to stick with it. All right, let me share with you the link if you want to learn more about the series. This link will take you directly to it. And also when the webinar, the workshop closes, it will pop up there as well. So no pressure. You are very welcome to join me. I would love to have you. I love the series. I plan to teach a lot of yoga nidra this year. It's on my short list of priorities for 2021, as it has made a big difference in my life. And I love to teach it. It's one of those things that it's almost as comforting and comfortable to teach it as it is to take a class. So does anyone have any questions? Any questions about Nidra? Any questions about finding more resources? I'll give you a couple on Insight Timer that I like a lot. I mentioned Jennifer Piercy. Also, Richard Miller is on there. He has a course, a 10-day course on there for an introduction to iRest. And then also Jeremy Wolf. He doesn't necessarily do iRest per se, but he has been trained in many different kinds, iRest among them, and he's wonderful. Is there a specific amount of time to spend in each step? So it actually depends. So when we go through the series, if the steps of focus that week are the early ones, I spend more time there and less later on. That's what we did today. And then as we get deeper into the layers and beliefs and practicing opposites and feelings and emotions, then we go through the body scan and breathing a little quicker, spend a little less time there. It tends to be the part that feels most natural, that's easiest to drop into, and then expand the other parts. And then the wonderful thing about Nidra is that you can pull out whichever piece. You could spend your whole Nidra in just a body scan or in a centering and a breath practice. You can take the tools that you want and use them depending on what's happening in your life. I know for me, one of the parts that that we practice in Nidra is noticing resistance to something. So we do a practice of opposites and we start to notice that we resist. We want one thing and we resist the other. right? And so practicing that and really noticing the extra stress that resistance causes helps you to see it in your real life. So when something happens and you wish it hadn't and you are really resisting it, it helps you not be happy that it happened, but realize that you're resisting that it happened, and really being open to what is. Thank you so much, Madeline. Yes, this is recorded. I was distracted cooking at the beginning and forgot to log in until you were wrapping. No worries at all. Everyone who was registered will get a follow-up email with the recording. And then probably I will also record a version of the practice itself and put it on my YouTube channel, because it'll be a little higher quality than what it is through the system. A wonderful getaway to the present. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. If you have any more questions, let me know. We still have a few minutes. Again, if you're interested, Tuesday morning I teach classes. I have recordings on YouTube, Insight Timer, and Instagram. And then the series begins on Friday the 8th. But as soon as you enroll, you'll have access to the online portion, which has a recording to start using over this week before we meet the first time on Friday. See you in the Nidra series. Awesome. Thanks, Lisa. What's the app called again? The app is called Insight Timer. So when you downloaded the PDF, if you click on the Insight Timer link that has my name with it, that'll take you to my page. But then if you go to the list there are thousands and thousands of teachers. So that's how you can find everyone there. Awesome. Yes, happy 2021, and you are so welcome. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and thanks for being here. Reach out at any time. My email is jen@jenwilking.com, or message me on Instagram. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, and hope to talk to you all soon, and I hope that, that you continue with more yoga nidra. Much love. Bye, everyone.